The knowledge and the assurance that God's promises are in fact true, they only come to us after we entrust ourselves to Him. One of the films that was kind of in that superhero kind of genre in general came out in the last 10 years or so, was actually pretty creative. It was the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and this was an animated film, came out 2018, and in the film, the original Spider-Man character, basically in the film, he's got the mask on there, and he's trying to teach this young guy essentially the ropes as the film kind of plays out. There's a lot of nuances to it, but he's trying to teach this young guy, Miles Morales, how to be Spider-Man, and because there's these different Spider-Mans in these different worlds and universes and different time frames, and so as he's trying to teach this kid how to be Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the kid, is just struggling to kind of get it. He wants to be Spider-Man, but he can't quite figure it out, and so he's beginning to get to a place where he's just beginning to question, can I do this? Can I be Spider-Man? And so he goes to the top of a really tall skyscraper, and he sits there and he kind of is just contemplating, can I be Spider-Man? Can I do this? And as he's sitting up there, the words of the original Spider-Man and his coaching to him kind of enter into his mind, and he's playing this conversation back in his mind that he had previously with the original Spider-Man. And he thinks about these thoughts that he shared, and he's asking Spider-Man in his head, Spider-Man, when will I know that I am Spider-Man? And Spider-Man replies to him, you won't. That's all it is, Miles. It's a leap of faith. You just have to dive in, basically. And so, with that, he gains the courage, he gains the desire, the whatever he needs to go ahead, and he just takes a leap off the building, trusting that in fact he is going to be Spider-Man and that it's going to work out for him. Now that's a dangerous leap in the real world, right? But we're in the comic book world. So just before he hits the ground, he shoots his spider webs out of his wrist, and still not quite grabbing onto the fact that he can be Spider-Man. But finally, just before he hits the ground, he does. He trusts those webs and he swings. He does the classic Spider-Man swing through downtown, and takes off. And now he's got it, right? He can do it. He figured it out. I can do it. I can be Spider-Man. And it's kind of like no looking back at that point for him. It's just kind of a cool movie. It's a very interesting movie if you like those styles of movies. Pretty well done, pretty creative and original in how they pulled it off. But the key for Miles was that at some point, right, he just had to trust that he could do it. It was a matter of a leap of faith is that common term, right? Or I'm just going to go for it, or I'm going to dive in head first, or whatever it is. And he does that. Now, had he never took the leap off that building, he might have never, right, realized that he could do it. He could be Spider-Man. But because he did, now he knows by experience that, hey, I can be this guy, I can play this role. And, I think this animated movie provides a helpful bridge for us into the realm of spiritual realities and truths that we can grab a hold of in this relationship with Jesus, this discipleship, this knowing Him. And I really believe the Father has a word for us today that just as Miles, the only way he could have ever known if he could have been Spider-Man was to take that leap of faith and act upon his belief. So too, the only way to know God's promises are true is to act upon them. You have to, at some point, put your faith, your trust, your whole self, and depending on and acting upon these things that God said is true for your life, taking hold of it. One of the ways of the way that God has designed this world that we live in and designed the nature of our relationship to Him is we can only know if there is a God, if He's real. We can only know if what he says is true if we trust ourselves to his word and his promises and then act upon it. In other words, give ourselves over to it. Only then can we experience kind of in a first-hand way that there is a God. He is real. His word is true. Now, I think this is where many of us can get hung up, including those who have yet to entrust ourselves to Jesus, but also those who already have entrusted ourselves to Jesus. We can get kind of hung up in this area because the Father, He longs for us to have these deep, meaningful, transformational experiences with Him where, right, we don't just play church or we don't just carry out religion. We're talking about a real vibrant relationship that changes us and changes the people around us who we come in contact with as God helps us, as He empowers us. And sometimes we can get caught up in this area of thinking that we have to have the experience before we trust. And it's actually the opposite. We actually have to trust first, and then the first-hand knowledge comes. Then the confidence, right, comes. Then it is real. I do see how it works, right? All that comes later. Another way of saying that is the knowledge and the assurance that God's promises are in fact true, they only come to us after we entrust ourselves to Him. You actually have to take the step first. Right? Step out. Trust Him. Then the confidence comes. Then the assurance comes. Then it all starts to make sense.